What's up, guys? What's going on? I'm Paul. This is Pauline Theology's daily devotional. I'm back. Glad you're here listening. This is Trust in Jesus Ministries as well, where we want to help you trust in Jesus more every day in every aspect of your life. And it's your first time to trust in Jesus, man. We want you to understand who he is, because he is wonderful, trustworthy, and amazing. Anyway, again, I thank you for listening, and let's jump on into it. We have finally got to the part, the pinnacle of the story, the thing we've all been waiting for, the reveal. Joseph is going to reveal himself to his brothers, and we're going to see what happens. This is where like everything has come to the focal point, man. We have seen the testing, we've seen the struggles, we've seen the heights and the lows, we've seen a lot, and now we're finally getting to see the restoration of the brothers. So join me in 45, 1 through 8 in Genesis. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and stop the tape, see what it has to say, read, come back, and we'll answer the 4 questions. If you've already got the tape, man, let's get to the peak. Let's see what's happening. So the first question is, what's going on? What's happening? What's happening? Well, Joseph, after hearing this speech, this amazing brokenness of spirit and depth of heart from Judah to stand in the gap for his brother Benjamin, Joseph said, "I can't do it no more, man." He's like, I've got to tell him who I am." And so he's like, "Get out, everybody in the room, get out." I bet the brothers are like, "What's going on, man? What's he doing?" But he told everybody, "Get out." Nobody was there. And then he revealed himself. It says, "I'm your brother Joseph," man. And he's crying. He's breaking down into tears. Just can't control himself. It says he couldn't control his emotions, man, because of the story, because of his brothers, because of the reunion, because of the love. And so he just breaks down and cries. And he says, "It's me." And he says, "Is my father alive?" Matter of fact, his crying was so loud, it says that the Egyptians could hear, the people that were around him, but then even Pharaoh's house. Now, I'm not sure if that means that their houses were close and it was just such a loud cry, or if it was vicariously, like somebody heard and then they went and made Pharaoh aware of the situation. But whatever it was, man, it was loud. It was, man, Joseph was unable to control his emotions because of the beautiful and wonderful picture of love depicted by Judah when he sacrificed himself. He stood in the gap. Now, Joseph, after he revealed himself, he says, "It's me, man. Is my father alive?" They couldn't say that, man. They was tripping. They was like, "What in the world's going on, this brother? He ain't Joseph." I don't know if they said that, but they were like, "Whoa, what's happening, man?" And he said again, he said, "Draw near, man." He said, "Come close to me, man." They came close. He says, "It's me, dude. I'm your brother." He said, "Matter of fact, I'm the one that you sold into slavery," trying to give him that identifying marker, because maybe they didn't believe him, but then they brought to head the thing that was hidden for so long in their life. Like they tried to forget about it, but they couldn't, but they told no one. And so how does this man in Egypt, in the highest position in the land, know about it? It's because it is their brother. It truly is their brother. And so it says, man, that you didn't do this to me, man. He says, "Don't worry." After he said that the one you sold into slavery, he's like, "Man, don't worry, man. You didn't do this. God sent me before you." He says, "Because I'm here to preserve life, your life, man, so that there would be a remnant of our people still upon the planet, so that we can that this world could be saved, a great salvation could occur, great survivors coming from these people." He says, "That's why." He says, and the thing that you purpose for evil, God purpose for good, man." He said that that God has sent him before in order to leave a remnant on this earth, in order to preserve life for you, for a people, a great salvation. And he says, man, it says it wasn't you who sent me, but it was God who set me. Hey, it wasn't you who sent me, but it was God who set me. And what did he set him as? It says that he set him as a father to Pharaoh, a lord of all of his house, and a ruler of all of the land of Egypt. It says that's what he has done. A father to Pharaoh in that he gives advice to Pharaoh and counsels him. A lord over his entire house is this the position in which he said that no one can lift up a hand or a leg or a hand or a foot without Joseph saying something. And then ruler of all the land, as he is the one who is giving and bestowing gifts and controlling everything. This is what God has done. This is what God has done, and Joseph recognized it. So what does this say about God? Well, it says three things: that he's sovereign, saving, and trustworthy. We talked about this being Trust in Jesus Ministries, man. And this is the thing in which we can see proves his trustworthiness. Is that in all of this suffering and evil, it seems like that was coming upon the person of Joseph, was truly God moving in his sovereignty. That's another characteristic we talked about, which means his controlling rule, moving and doing everything according to his plan. And his trustworthiness is proven in the fact that the dreams were answered. The thing where it says that they would bow down to him has occurred. So we know that what he says about those things is true. But also that the thing that he had gone through, Joseph, again, the trouble, the dismay, the horribleness was for a purpose. And that purpose was to save the world, but first and foremost to save his people. That promise that he had made earlier to Abraham and then to Isaac and then to Jacob, that the world would be blessed through their seed. Well, this famine that has come about could have wiped that seed off the face of the earth, because the famine was so great in the land, they could have been devastated and have died because of the lack of food that occurred for those 7 years. But that's not the case. That's not the case. See, it says he brought them there to save them, because it's going to be even worse in the next 5 years. And so trust the plan of God as he is doing things behind the scenes that we have no clue about. But he's saving, he's preserving life. This was the reason that Joseph was placed in this position, was to save the life of the people of promise, but also to save the life of the Egyptians, of the people who were coming down to buy food in order to survive. He is saving the world in essence. What does this say about mankind? Well, first off, forgiveness, man. Forgiveness. This is what we need. This is what we desire. And this is what we should give. Joseph forgives his brothers. And he forgives because he understands that there's more going on. There's more at stake. And how many times do we know, or do we see, or because forgiveness is something that we should be giving others, but sometimes we don't recognize the thing that they're doing. Well, God is moving in another way. And I know this is a very difficult thing, but understand, even here, selling someone into slavery is a horrible thing. Man, that is beyond horrible. That is atrocious and wrong. And one of the most wrongs you can do to someone, taking away their freedom, their liberty, a thing that God has given them to walk about this earth as their own person under the guise of God. And they have done this to this man. Yet he finds it in his heart to forgive his brothers. And it was his brothers, the ones in whom are supposed to care for and be there to support and help him. Their older brothers, the ones supposed to look out for him, to be his keeper. They did this. the brokenness, the hurt, the pain that was probably flowing through him during this thing, this tragedy, but he forgives them. And then second, rest in the overarching plan of God. No men, as mankind, we should understand and know that God has a plan, and he is organizing, moving, and doing things to be able to cause his glory and our good. It may not seem that way, but it is. And sometimes the only knowledge that we get from the things that we're going through is that we're going to look more like Jesus. We may not get the plan like Joseph did to say that we're able to save the world, but we do know that we're going to look more like Jesus. So trust that overarching plan, whether we come to know what it is or not. What's the application? Understanding his sovereignty, his savingness, and his trustworthiness, and that we're to trust this plan and forgive. Well, I think it's this. Know that God is doing something. Know God is moving. Know God is creating or pushing or forming. He's doing something in order to bring glory to his name in a way that only can be done through what is happening in your life. And so take a look and see how God is moving in this way, and how and so this is our part right here, is that we can participate by humbling ourselves and being a part of that plan by just moving in the way that God is leading us so that his glory can be shown through our lives, and then showing gratitude and growing in wisdom for God using us in that way. That's tough words to say because I know there are horrible things that happen to people, horrible things that and suffering that just seems meaningless sometimes. Like, why would this happen? Why is this going? Why are we going through this? What is the reason? We may not know, but I do want to encourage you and let you know that there is a purpose and a plan, and it is for God's glory, and it is for your good in the kingdom. I thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.